Hey guys, Peter here from the Hidden Online Living YouTube channel, and here in this video I'm going to show you how you can set up a simple newsletter campaign within GetResponse. So make sure to keep watching the whole way through the video, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process step by step. I will show you how to create the newsletter and get started with creating your list, and I'll walk you through the process of how you can actually set up the email campaign. So if you are new to the channel and you do find content like this here to be helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video. Also, if you are looking for an honest and genuine way to get started on your own online journey and you want to figure out the steps in which to do so, make sure to check out the link below in the description to find out more. So before we actually get started, if you happen to be new to GetResponse and you're still in the process of getting started on the platform, I have created a previous video on showing you how to get started with GetResponse, where I show you how to get signed up and how to change some of your dashboard settings so that you can actually get everything ready to go, so you can start working on creating your campaigns and so forth. So I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and check that out. So if you've decided to sign up with the 30-day free trial and you've got access to your account, you will be greeted with this dashboard. Now when you're setting up your list on the free account, you'll only have access to one list on the free account until you've actually decided to opt into one of the paid versions, as I mentioned in the previous video. But it's still enough for you to actually get started. So the first thing you want to do is you need to create a list. So you just click on lists, and what you will do is, if you don't already have a list here set up, you can click on create list, and then what you can do is you can add in the exact name of the list that you want. You can add in whatever you want, because this will be the list that people will see and that you will see when people are unsubscribing or subscribing to your content or your email list. Also, when you've set up your list, you can also add in your contacts. So if you do have, say, an extra list, or if you've already transferred, or you're already transferring your list from another autoresponder, you can save it out and export your files as a CSV file, and then you can upload the file here, and then you can add in your list of details and so forth so that you can actually get started. But if you have that all ready to go, then what we can actually do is we can actually just get started. So you can see here from the dashboard, you have access to quick actions. So you can create a form, create a newsletter, or create a landing page. You can add in your contacts as I mentioned, or you can create an autoresponder campaign. So in this case, we want to create a welcome sequence. Now it's just going to be a simple email sequence. We're going to have two main emails, but we're going to have resends on them. So you'll send out one email, but then you'll also have a resend email that will actually be pretty much the same as the first one, but you'll just change a few things just to send it out. It's just in case if people happen to get access to your email but they don't get to open it. Could be for any number of reasons. People do tend to get distracted, but as long as you send a resend email, say a couple of hours or a day or so later, it will keep people engaged with you, and it will actually get them to reenact and re-engage with you, so that you can still potentially gain more engagement and maybe even potentially make more sales further in the line. So what we want to do is, when you're in your dashboard, you can literally come in here. You can either click on create a newsletter, or you can come up to menu and you can click on email marketing. And then what we want to do is, you will have access to different segments here, but for this case we just want to click on create newsletter. So once the page is actually loaded up, you will be greeted with this next section, and the first thing you want to do is you want to come in and edit the name of the campaign. Then what you want to do is you want to select the email that your recipients are going to receive their content from. So you want to choose, if you have a list, you want to set up your main email like I mentioned in the previous video. Again, check that out in the description, and that way then you can set it up so that way then it'll go directly to their inbox without too much of a hassle. And then you can also set up a reply to email as well. So then what you want to do is you want to set up a subject line. So you want to have a subject heading for the email. You can also add in a preview snippet of text if you want to give an idea to your audience as to what the message is actually about. You can add in recipients, so if you have already contacts on your list, you can add them in. And you also want to design your email as well. So because what you want to do essentially is set up some sort of a template, especially one that you know is going to be easier for you to reuse time and again. So this will be a good way to actually get started on that. And then I'm going to show you that now in a second, and then you can go through tracking. You can add click tracking, you can track links with Google Analytics. If you want, you can also share the emails then on social media, but we're not going to do that. and when you're ready you can send immediately, you can schedule it for later, but in this case we're going to save it as a draft just so we can reuse at a later date. It's just to give you an idea of how this is actually set up. So when you've gone through all these stages here, we're actually just going to go and design the email itself. So before you actually get into the process of setting up the actual email itself, once you've gone onto the design and content section, you will be greeted with a load of different really useful and high quality templates that you can actually pick, and you can choose and design your emails that best suit your type of style. And there's a load of them here, and any one of them will be useful to you, but you want to kind of pick one that's specific to your ideas and your specific niche that you're creating your content around. But in this case we're not going to use any of these, we're just going to start off with a blank template. So you can access, if you have saved templates, you will have them in here in this tab. You can also have a HTML editor or look at existing messages, but we just want to look at blank templates. So to make things easier, we're actually going to use a one column template. So you're just going to click on use template. So with the editor window now opened up, as you can see here, you will have a panel on the right hand side that has different settings and so forth. So you can change background color, add in a background image, you can change the header and footer settings, change the column width, etc. You also do have other specific settings if you want to add in any other specific features if you want. But in this case what we want to actually do is, there's already a few elements that are already here due to the template that we actually selected. So we have, like, say, our logo section up here, that's an image section. So what this will be, it'll be actually an image block, so you would literally click and drag it onto that. So as you can see here, you get this notification to drop it in the body of page. So once you've actually added that in, a window will pop up and you can add in your own text. You can change the font style, you can change the alignment of it, you can change the padding, you can show the logo if you want, you can add a URL to it, and you can change some other different settings down below. So in this case what I want to do is, for this section here, I want to add in my own logo. So I'm just going to click on where it says add image down below, and I already have my logo already updated on it. But if not, you can always go into your computer and you can select files. So you can actually go in and find the exact file that you actually want, and you can upload it from there, and you can just add it in. And then when you're ready to use, you can just click on it and then you can click on use. Now what that's actually going to do is, it's actually going to bring it in, but we'll need to resize it. So you can change the width and the size of it here. So with this icon here, you can unlink it if you want, but if you link it, it changes, it keeps the proportions relevant, which is actually a lot easier. So you can just type in a number if you have a specific number in mind, which in this case I don't. I'm just going to leave it as it is. You can just play around with it and just see which one actually fits, and then when you're happy enough, then you can leave it as it is. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add in a text block. So we're going to drag the text block and drag it in on top here. And then what we are going to do is we are going to continue to type in our content that we want. So I've already made up my own content, so I'm just literally just going to paste it in here just to show you real quick. So again, we can, when we've pasted in our content, we can change certain features. We can make it bold, we can change the different font sizes, we can change the actual font as well, we can set up different paragraphs, we can make it italic, underline, we can also link and unlink, we can put in emojis if we want to, we can change the orientation, the position of the text. So ideally what we want to do is here is, when we have the text in that we want, we can play around with it and just tweak it just to tidy it up. And main thing you want to do is, you don't want to have your text too small, but you don't want it to be too big either, because you want it to be readable. So a rule of thumb would be to actually have your font size anywhere between 16 and 18 points. So that way then it's easier to read, it's easier on the eye. So people looking at your content will be able to read it fairly easily. So once you've added in all your information and your logo and so forth, you just want to just tidy it up and make sure that you have everything presentable. You want to add in paragraphs and make sure the line spacing is correct. And like I mentioned, make sure that the font sizes are roughly around 16 points. It's just as easier to read. Also what you want to do is you want to add in a couple of links, because if you're wanting to drive traffic to, say, a video or a blog article or to some sort of relevant content that relates to what it is that you're trying to get out there through your email message, you'll want to add in your own links. So you want to find a piece of text or add in a new piece of text like I have here that's highlighted in blue, and you want to come up to the icon up here and it shows insert link. So you want to click on that. This window will pop up and then you will put your URL link in here. So when you've had that there, it can either be a link to a video, it can be a link to a blog article, or what you can do is if you are promoting an affiliate program, which in this case I am here, where it's an affiliate link for free training on how to build an online business, you will put that link in here, and then that way then anyone comes in to the email and they start reading it, they'll read through the email, and if they like what they're seeing, they will click on the link, and then that will actually take them to the exact page that they're looking to go to. So you can drive your traffic towards that page. So when you're nearly all done, again, you just want to add in a few extra features just to kind of tidy things up. So what you can do is we can add in just another image. So if this window doesn't show up, you can literally just click on the bottom here where the GetResponse logo is, and it will bring back up this layout panel here. So ideally what we want to do is I just want to add in my own image just so that people can know who I am, and that's ideally what you would want to think about considering doing in the future if you want to build up trust and engagement. So I just want to drop in this image box here, and what we can do is we can take a file, we can go and add the image to our computer, or we can actually drag it in from our folder. So if we have a file here, we can literally just drag it and we can drop it in on top of it. So as you can see here now, we can change it. So we'll just need to actually edit it and just change the height and the width of it. So once you've actually set the preferred height and width of the image that you want, again, you can replace the image, you can edit it, you can also add a link if you want to. So what you can do with the image selected, you can add in your own alternative text. This will actually be the text that will show up just in case this image actually doesn't load. So you can adjust the width. If you want, like I said, you can replace the image, you can edit it, you can also add in a link. So in this case, I'm just going to add in just the affiliate link that I have just in the body of the text. And here what we can do is we can adjust the alignment of it. We can set it to the right, we can set it to the center, we can set it to the left. There's also advanced settings, so you can tweak different elements of it individually. But for this here, I'm just going to actually just leave this here as it is. So I'll actually just make it just a little bit smaller. So I'm happy enough with that. So when you've actually got everything that you need and everything set up, you can click on the wee save icon that's up here. So we click on that and that will save it. That will save your progress. So once you've finished adding in all this bits and pieces that you need, now this is fairly simple, and ideally that's the way I want to keep it for now, because I don't want to have a load of distracting elements in it that's going to take away from what the message is trying to portray. So when you're happy enough with it, you can test it and preview it, or what you can do in this case, I just want to first of all save it as a template. So just click, you come up here where it says save and exit, you highlight and then click on save as template. So then you just want to give it a name. And then when you're giving it a name, you just click on create, and what this is going to do, you will get a notification say the template is saved. This here template now will be your go-to template, so anytime you want to create a new email newsletter, you will be able to reuse this template time and again. So everything will be already here and laid out exactly as it is. So it's just a case of you coming in and just changing all the different elements and links and just tweaking a few things to suit your own preferences. So when you're done with that, then we can just click and we can just preview it. So as you can see now here, gives you details as to what it's about, and it actually gives you a rundown of how it will actually look within the browser window. So you can also check for mobile devices, and it looks good enough, and then you can even compare the two, which is a pretty cool feature within GetResponse, so you can see exactly how it's going to look, and I'm happy with that. So you're just going to click on back to layout, and again you're going to just, we're going to, this case now when everything is actually done, we're going to save it as a draft and just exit it, because we're not going to publish this yet. This is only just to go through the process to show you how to set up a newsletter. So once we're done, we just click on save, draft and exit. So that will be this here now done. So the next thing you want to do is we want to create another email pretty much the same as this here, make a copy of it, and we want to use it as a resend. So again, we want to go through the same process again. So we want to click on create newsletter, and then we want to go through the entire process again, but this time we want to tweak a few things just to make it a little bit different from the previous one, just so that when the email does get sent out a second time, that it doesn't actually get left in the spam or junk folder. Just before we quickly move forward, I just want to just share with you just a cool feature that GetResponse actually has. It also has an automatic spam check filter, so what it will do is when you've saved a message as a draft before you publish it, it will automatically check the email for specific or unique phrases or keywords to check to see if they're legitimate or not. And if everything's good to go, you will get this notification, which means that you can send the message out and you will have a higher chance of your message not going into a recipient's spam folder or junk folder. Now, if it does actually have any specific wordings or keywords that are considered spam, it will give you a notification, and it either will not send the message, or if it does send it, that it will automatically go into the recipient's spam folder. So it's just something to be aware of. But as long as you keep within those guidelines, you will get this notification and you should be good to go. So when you're setting up your second email, again, you just want to go through the same process as we did before, and you want to give it a specific name, like say even with a number 2 at the end of it, just so you know exactly where in the sequence the message is going to end up. So again, you want to make sure that you have the relevant email set up. So then you want to have a subject line. Again, you want to add your recipient so you can select your list, and then you want to pretty much just design your message again. So here's where I was explaining earlier, when you're taken to this page you can use these templates, but here we're just going to click on my templates, and as you can see here, the template that we've saved, it's all ready to go. So we're just going to literally just copy content, and what it's going to do now is this is actually going to open up this email now for us ready to go. So we will have the actual heading already set up as we done in the previous section, and because this is a resend email, we don't really generally have to really change anything here. So we can just leave it pretty much as it is, because everything's pretty much there as we need it to be. So again, we can preview it, and again you can just check it and you can compare it between desktop and mobile views, and when you're happy enough you can just save and exit. So again, you don't need to save it as a template because we already have the template actually saved, so we're just going to save as draft and exit. What you can also do is, as well, just to make things a little bit easier, we can just rename this actually again, and we just say newsletter campaign 1, and then we push brackets and then we just type in resend. That way now we know exactly which one it actually is for. So again, we're just going to click on save as draft because we're not going to be sending this message out for the time being. This is just to give you an exact idea of how you would set up the process. So as you can see, you have your campaign newsletter, the first one. Again, I'll rename that. We'll just rename that now. I'll just put 1 in front of it. That way then it's just easier just for me to figure out what's next. So as you can see here now, this will be the first email that will be sent out, and then this one here will be the second one. But again, what you will have to actually do is you will have to set up an automation for the emails to be sent out at specific times. I will actually cover that in another video, but for the moment this is literally just to give you an idea of how to actually set up all these campaigns. So what you want to do is, now you can set it up as a welcome campaign just for one sequence campaign, like have a normal email and have a resend. Ideally you want to send about 2 emails. So you want to have, say, the first email sent out at a specific day or time after someone signs up. Then what you want to do is you want to set a resend literally within 12 hours to a day afterwards to keep people engaged. Then ideally what you want to do is you want to create another 2 emails that are similar to this here, and that way then it keeps people engaged even more, so you're getting people more aware of your content and who you are as a person. So what I'll quickly do is, you need to just rinse and repeat this process. So I'm quickly going to jump ahead and I'll jump back in and I'll show you what this process will actually look like. Right, so I've actually skipped ahead and I've just updated some of the other features for some of the other emails I want to send out, and I quickly just want to show you just when you're just adding and editing some features, you just want to tweak a few things, and when you're happy enough with everything, you make sure that your links and everything are all correct. Again, you want to highlight everything and make sure that you check the alignments and so forth. You want to make sure the font sizes are correct. So then you just want to make sure that you save your progress, and when you're happy with that, then you just want to save, draft and exit. So here you go. Now what this will actually do is, this is your sequence campaign. This is what will happen in your welcome sequence. So if someone opts into your list, they will actually get this email here first. Then what actually happen is, after whatever time you actually specify, whether it be say 12 hours or a day, you will then send this email, and you can set up an automation in order to do that. And then what you'll do is, then you'll wait another day and you will send the second email. Then you will wait a couple of hours, or say 12 hours or another day, and then you will send the resend email. Again, it will be the same email as the first one that you send out, but it will just have a different title on it. It's just so that it doesn't get truncated and it doesn't get sent to the recipient's spam folders. Again, this is just a good way to really kind of structure your emails, so that way then if you do happen to set up a sequence and you want to get people into your list and you want to get people to engage with you or maybe even purchase from you or buy into whatever it is that you're promoting, you want to have this structure in place. The reason behind that is because if someone does come to your original email, they may open it but they may not actually click on anything, because anything can happen, because as we all know, life gets in the way, things happen, there could be any sort of distractions going on. People have work, they have commitments, they have family, they have children. There's so many things that can go wrong or that can happen on a given day or at any given time. At least by setting up this type of structure and having a resend email, again, having a different title, at least it doesn't kind of look spammy as well. It actually looks legitimate, and it does kind of it kind of reminds people of who you are and your brand, so that people will be like, oh, I remember this, I forgot about this yesterday, I'll click on it now. So by doing that, it will keep people engaged with you. So in my next video, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to structure and show you actually how to set up an automation and actually how to piece all these together, so you can set up the time sequences of how and when you send each email out. Because as it stands, if you go to publish these, they will actually just publish pretty much straight away, and you don't want to really do that. You want to set up an automation where it's a time sequence, so that you can set the automation up once and then you can literally stand away from it and let it do its thing, because it'll operate as soon as someone opts in and adds in their email. Then this process will actually start. This automation will then take care of itself. Again, you just have to come back in from time to time and make sure that everything's working alright, and see what links people are clicking on and so forth. But again, I'll walk you through the process and that in the next video. So that's it for this here. This is just a simple way to show how you can actually set up a simple newsletter structure sequence within GetResponse, and especially this will be useful to you if you're a beginner starting out on the platform. Again, make sure to check out the link in the description if you're looking to get started with GetResponse, and also be sure to check out that other video as well, the previous video showing you how to get it set up on the platform. So if you have found this content to be useful, make sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video. Also, if you are looking for an honest and genuine way to get started on your own online journey and you want to figure out the steps in which to do so, make sure to check out the link below in the description to find out more. And as always, I will see you in the next one.